Now on CoastTV News.
Millsboro Bypass opens.
It's utilized the way it's supposed to be.
After decades of planning and more than a year of construction, cars will start flowing in.
Big names and bigger crowds.
We're looking forward to a huge weekend here in Ocean City.
Ocean's Calling is drawing fans from across the region. A look at behind-the-scenes work to make sure it all hits the right note.
We are tracking some fast-forming thunderstorms. I'll pinpoint the timing tonight.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
Cars will fill this road in just hours. Good evening. I'm Christina Robertus.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with a bypass that's been years in the making, and it is just hours away from being officially opened.
On your screen now is the North Millsboro Bypass. DelDOT held a ribbon cutting on Monday, but rain delayed the official opening of the road until tonight. CoastTV reporter Brandon Ferguson was in our Coast Copter and takes us above the North Millsboro Bypass.
Christina, construction lasted just over 2 years on the North Millsboro Bypass project. And as we look down from our Coast Copter, you can see the 2.5-mile stretch.
The 2-year bypass construction totaled at just over $140 million. DelDOT says this will ease the congestion in downtown Millsboro. Talking with people in Millsboro, they tell me sometimes the traffic is so bad, they put their car in park. Millsboro local Melody McNamara says the bypass being done should make it easier to get around town.
It's utilized the way it's supposed to be. A lot of the truck traffic will be diverted, and a lot of the vacation traffic.
On your screen now, you see that red line? That's a previous route that drivers had to take. And now you can see the bypass highlighted by that green line. The bypass stretches over the Millsboro Pond and has 4 bridges.
Late tonight, you will be able to access the North Millsboro Bypass, and tomorrow morning it will fully be open. Copter over the North Millsboro Bypass, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
All right, thank you, Brandon. And according to DelDOT, after the bypass opens, there's also going to be some intermittent lane closures tomorrow morning as final road striping is completed.
This brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, what will you use the bypass for most?
Let's take a look at the updated results here from last news hour. 35% say they'll use it to skip downtown, 20% say a faster commute, and 45% say they will rarely use it.
Still nobody on the truck route.
I know.
You can go vote at coasttv.com or use the CoastTV mobile app. We will show you some updated results on CoastTV News at 11. To Ocean City now. Just like last year, the town expected to see around 50,000 people at the big music festival. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City. Kevin, everybody in town bracing for the surge and the sound.
Charlie, we're at one of the entrances to Ocean's Calling, and just like last year, expect long lines to get inside. But for some, it's worth the wait to see their favorite bands up close. On your screen now is a look inside the 3-day event, and there's still work to do before gates open Friday. Crews making final preparations. Tom Perlazzo, Ocean City's Tourism and Business Development Director, says he's expecting waves of people and miles of smiles.
We're looking forward to a huge weekend here in Ocean City. We have 55,000 guests that will be down here for 3 days. We're kicking off Friday night.
Businesses near the event say they're excited to see the crowds of people before the summer comes to a close. Ocean's Calling will go from Friday to Sunday. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we're looking live into Ocean City. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a check on the forecast. Paul, what's the weather like for Ocean's Calling?
Well, we're starting to see some scattered showers.
Check in on you in a little bit. Sometimes TV happens like that. Concerns over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found that the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. The review covered 2021 through 23, a period when state officials say the company received more than $2.6 million in state funds. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told CoastTV today the company plans to implement recommendations from the auditor's office to correct the issues.
Electric bicycles were a hot topic at Thursday's South Bethany committee meeting, which addressed growing concerns about their use. Members of the committee discussed whether the town's 15-mile-per-hour speed limit should apply to e-bikes, particularly Class 3 models, which are capable of speeds up to 28 to 35 miles per hour. These faster e-bikes have raised safety issues among locals.
They're bikes that move electronically, so I think that they should follow the rules that all cyclists are expected to follow, and that's going with the flow of traffic and obeying stop signs and traffic signals and yielding to pedestrians.
Now, no final decisions were made at that meeting, but the committee plans to bring what was discussed to the town council.
BB Healthcare announces they will host a series of community flu shot clinics across Sussex County. The clinics will run through early November. The upcoming 3 clinic dates are September 27th in Millsboro at the Long Neck Methodist Church, September 30th in Rehoboth Beach at the Village Improvement Association, and October 1st in Lewis at the Cape Pharmacy. Appointments are not required to participate, and participating members are asked to bring identification and insurance documentation. Warwick Community College is offering a chance to learn valuable skills for free. Students get to work hands-on for 10 weeks with Warwick Community College. New heavy equipment training courses. The Maryland Works for Wind program donated $105,000 to the program, enough money to cover 24 students over 3 sessions. Students in the class tell us this class provides very useful skills.
With a free class like this, you can't miss this opportunity because like I said, you learn so much and you get so many connections through the people that are here at Warwick. And when you bring it back to your job, they'll look at you in a different light. You know, you gave your time, you put your effort in, and it'll pay off in the long run.
Students say they are excited to grow or even launch their careers with these new skills. They will speak with recruiters about potential job opportunities after completion of the course.
We still have more news to tell you about tonight.
Colonel Richardson football wants to ride its momentum of the best player to a 2nd straight win.
We're tracking the threat of isolated storms pushing throughout Laurel at this present time, moving towards the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, expecting it to hit Georgetown by 6:19, Milton by 6:33, Lewis by 6:46.
But first, serving more than sandwiches. A century of stories lives on inside Wilson's General Store. We'll take you there in this week's Coastal Connections in just 60 seconds. We all know Delaware is the first state, and with that comes a lot of history, a lot of old places. What was once a one-room schoolhouse in Georgetown evolved into a general store, and now it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware. In this week's Coastal Connections, Emma Aiken brings us to Wilson's General Store.
This little store in Georgetown has lived a lot of lives. First, it was a one-room schoolhouse in the 1890s. Then, in the 1930s, Marshall Wilson converted it into a rural country store. He named it Wilson's General Store. In the 70s, Marshall's son, Jim, took over.
Jim had the store for 80 plus years, him and his father, and they built quite a culture here. So when we bought it 3 or 4 years ago, we just built on that base culture.
That's Jim in the middle there. And on his sides, Laura Berberich and Tim Cupston, who've owned the store for the past few years, though Jim is still there most days.
He was the Grand Marshal, still is the Grand Marshal. We owe it to this guy.
Jim tells me you used to be able to buy everything at Wilson's. You could even walk into Wilson's and buy a sandwich and a gun in the same trip.
What caught our eye is when we first passed here, we saw the sign. It said sandwiches, firearms, ammunition, and notary.
And sitting behind those three is a group of regulars who can attest to those very memories.
We bought our guns, ammunition under Jim Wilson. He made a lot of money off of us.
Now Wilson's has evolved into mostly a sandwich shop. And it's widely considered the oldest deli in Delaware.
Once you tried it and stuff, you'll not go to McDonald's or Hardee's. You'll come to Wilson's store because you'll get the best sandwich and the best price on Delmarva.
That's local Joe Pete, who's been here since the beginning.
I bought the first sandwich when this store opened.
Pete and his friends go to Wilson's just about every morning.
Joe,
Yes.
please let me know about the sandwich we named after you.
Oh yeah, I got a sandwich up here.
So much so that Pete got his own sandwich named after him. Of course, the Delaware way with scrapple.
This is a scrapple, bacon cheese.
I suggested that he gets one slice of scrapple, one egg on toast, and they named the sandwich after me. It's called Joe Pete.
Rang the cowbell, and he quiet down.
Pete says Wilson's is an escape.
It's horrible how things is, but when you come to Wilson's store, you get cheered up. I mean, you come out positive. We try not to be negative. Right, Bob?
Yes, you're right,
Yeah,
John.
yes. We come out with a positive attitude.
And that bond goes both ways.
We have a lot of the same locals every morning, and they're part of the Wilson family, and we're proud to have them here.
The Wilson's family.
I'm not going to kiss him, but I'll shake his hand.
Laughter from the locals to the sizzle of the start of a sandwich. Wilson's isn't just a store or a deli, it's a living slice of Delaware history. For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
We are tracking some storms starting to wet up the streets a little bit. Now, I usually don't show Salisbury at 6 o'clock, but I am this time because I'm showing you how the streets are already beginning to get wet for right now. And we have some droplets on some drops on the camera lens indicating, hey, that rain is moving swiftly across the Delmarva Peninsula. We are in the 80s right now, but here's the fortunate side of this. We're on the lower 80s. So our threat for severe storms, not totally gone, but it's not heightened like it could be had we, let's say, had a little more energy or a little more in the way of sunshine throughout the day. Now, this is the most active cell that I'm looking at right now near Sycamore. It's just moved out of Laurel. You can see it shifted while we're right here live. Now it's in Bryan's store right now, and it's creating an opportunity for at least some small or pea-sized hail thus far, and it's moving over towards Morris and Georgetown and all that area. Now, this is the general motion right now. It's moving towards the east, northeast, at about 25 knots, around about 28 miles per hour to be exact, but close to 30, so to speak. So as we kind of freeze it in play, we can see that this is going to make its way towards Benham, and then it's going to make its way towards Cave Colony, and then it'll begin to make its way over towards Lewis, and then it's likely to move over towards Lower a lot quicker in that direction. That's the trajectory of it at this particular junction. It's not severe, okay? I want to make that clear, but it is a bit of a problem if you're going to be driving in that area. And so we have another cell that's actually moving down towards Salisbury. We focus in on that cell, and that's where we saw the live view from that camera shot. So it's about to move throughout downtown Salisbury to our sister station over WBOC. Should be there in about 90 seconds, to be quite honest. The heaviest one actually is going to be moving that way and headed towards Salisbury Parkway. And with that one, we're tracking that. That's going to be moving towards the airport at the very least at about 6:30, then hit Pittsville, then Willards, and then it's going to move towards Selbyville just around the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. But right now, this is the only line of storms that we're tracking right now that's active at this point. So what about our forecasting models? The forecasting models were initially very aggressive about just exploding thunderstorms. But you know what happened? We had a whole lot of cloud cover. So it made all the storms go, shh, made them quiet. So right now, even though we're seeing it's clearing, the sun's going down, so we're not getting that energy. However, we have at least one more bump of energy, according to this model, that could flare up down towards Chincoteague, but that's going to be just before we hit midnight, and we'll continue to monitor that throughout the day. Now, we still have marginal risk of some rain and some thunderstorms. Now, as far as the amount of rain, we could see up to maybe close to an inch in Snow Hill, but that's going to really kick in for us on Friday, more so than for tonight. So with that being the case, we're looking pretty clear for the rest of the night as far as what the model run is showing us. And then near Berlin for Friday in the early morning, we'll see spotty showers. And then the cloud cover sticks around, but then it clears out in time for us to get a little more thermodynamic energy in place. But by that time, the party has already passed us, so we're not looking at an aggressive amount of precipitation. So now we're looking at maybe a quarter of an inch of rain, maybe a half up towards Milton, but not that much. I even began to kind of detail Georgetown, Rehoboth, and Ocean City. Ocean City now has been downgraded to about just a half inch, a quarter inch in Rehoboth, and just over a half inch expected in Georgetown. Saturday, we're looking for a bigger system that's going to bring just a ton of rain our way in the sense of the size of it, not necessarily the amount, okay? And then for Tuesday, we start seeing the frontal boundaries kind of waffle a bit for us as a tropical system may get a little bit closer to us. Last but not least, let's walk through this. We have Tropical Storm Umberto. It's going to move and become stronger but veer away from us, but it could drag another low pressure system that's going to develop close to us, and that may fall behind it, and it could move into our general area, so we'll watch out for that. Here's a look at your oceans calling forecast, and finally, your 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul. It is week 4 of the NFL regular season, and we have a doozy on Sunday night for Sunday Night Football. It's right here on Coast TV. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins at 7, and then stay right here for Coast TV News that follows the game.
But fall is not just for football, it's also for marching band, and the Delmarva Sports Network is covering 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. The competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+, and the next one is Saturday, September 27th.
It is almost that time again for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Coast TV works to make the holidays brighter for kids across Delmarva. Now, the money you give, that goes to local charities who buy Christmas presents. Right now, we are accepting applications from those nonprofits. The deadline to submit an application is next Wednesday, October 1st. You can find the link at blessourchildren.org.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Colonel Richardson football has a chance to win its 2nd straight game tonight. The Colonels started the season 0-2, but took down Washington 56-14 last week. And a win like that is usually thanks to a whole host of players that succeeded. And while that is true, Colonel Richardson Jr. Jazeer Dickerson shined a bit brighter than everyone else. The wingback scored a whopping 5 touchdowns in the win over the Jaguars. That brings his season total to 7 scores across 3 games. But maybe I shouldn't call Dickerson a wingback. His head coach, James Jackson, says he's so much more than that.
He's a talented junior. He can be used in any position in the backfield. He can go out to receiver. He can even play a little quarterback. So, I mean, he's versatile. Like, you just can't label him as a wingback. You can just label him as an athlete. Like, he can, wherever you want him to play, he's going to go play.
Well, today he's going to play over at County Stadium. Colonel Richardson and Parkside kicked off at 5:15 tonight. You can watch the rest of the game over on the Delmarva Sports Network. If not, catch the highlights on the final score. That'll do it for sports.
We're starting to see the scattered showers pick up a little bit more in Salisbury. Watch out for slick conditions and slick roads because of the result of the puddling that's happening there. Here's the latest tracking of the storm cell that's affecting Salisbury. It's going to make its way through Pittsfield by 6:52, Willers by 7:05. Now also we have this cell that's propping up right now near Morris Mills. It actually has some evidence of a bit of hail that's associated with it. Now this is going to move up towards Belltown by 6:36, Lewis by 6:41, and then head towards West Cape May by 7:09. An umbrella, which will be handy for today. Our umbrella winner is Matthew Wilson of Lincoln. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by Broxette, Mendalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. After tonight's rain, we'll have another round on Saturday.
All right. Thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.